Okay, welcome in on this lovely Wednesday. How are we doing today? So good to see you all. Congratulations, Mothman, on getting first. Well done. Memphis, great to see you. Nekdos, Cubus, thank you all you for being here and everyone else hanging out in the shadows. It's lovely to be here. Cubus, we are going to be checking out Dice and Goblins here. Mothman, thank you for that celebration. Love it. Love it. So here we go. We're going to do Dice and Goblins analysis first off, and then we'll dive into Godotverlay with any leftover time that we have. So thank you so much for hanging out. This is absolutely lovely. Oh, and we need to run this Hungry Mongry with a hat. Absolutely. I got you. Dice and Goblins seems to me like an appropriate time for an explorer's hat, you know? Feels like a good time for this. Good to see you, Hungry Monkey. Thank you for the hello. These redeems, do you pay for those games? No, I steal them. No, most of the time, yes. If we're doing like a full version of a game, yeah, usually I'll do it, because the idea is if you've been around long enough to earn those points, then like that's worth it, you know? So most of the time, yes. Every now and again, viewers do donate the game or the funds in order to purchase them, which is always deeply appreciated. But yeah, I know this might be a dumb question, but what's the big difference between analyze and critique? It's not a dumb question at all. Not a dumb question at all. We get asked that quite a lot. So in general, an analysis is more of an observation of what works and what doesn't work. A critique is usually focused around something specific you're looking to improve on. And that's why, like, you can analyze a game or you can critique your game, right? So if we're critiquing your game, then we'll bring you on and have you discuss what is the thing that you are feeling need for support with, right? So you might say, you know what, I think my game just needs more visual polish, or people are getting bored in this level and I don't know what to do, or I introduce a new mechanic at this point and people aren't understanding it, right? These are all examples of things that people have brought. And so we'll jump in and we'll look and we'll try and problem solve together about some possible ways to address that more specific concern. Right, so one is academically understanding something, and then the other is let's target something specific to try and address it and fix it, right? Analyze is the evil version. Oh my. All right. All right, thanks. You're very welcome. Very welcome. So let's take a look at Dice and Goblins. And let me know if that didn't make any sense to you. I can definitely explain more. But this is Dice and Goblins, redeemed by Cubus. Thank you, Cubus. By the way, I hope things are going well, Cubus. And let's dive in. This is a very cozy little menu screen. I would be surprised if this makes it through to final launch. It looks like their release date is Q1 of next year. So I got some time here. This feels like a demo early sort of menu screen, right? It's just very plain. There's not a whole lot going on. And you can still have something that is minimalist and not feel plain, right? So we're missing like some foreground element. This black color is very black, right? Instead of being like an off black, at least, well, I don't know, it might be brownish. That might actually be brown. But we do have a little bit of movement in here. You can see these kind of little lerp animations, the particles coming up from the fires. But we have this very crisp hand-drawn stuff with the more voxely type sort of heavily pixelated approach here. So it's just not quite blending together very well. We have the logo up here, but then the menu items over here, and then the socials up on the right. So it's this awkward kind of, you get brought in here and then move over to here, but then your eye kind of gets brought up here and then comes back down. Like, there's just a lot of refinement that could be done here. If they moved Dice and Goblins off to the right here and made it bigger and pushed this stuff down, And then maybe put the Discord and Steam banners in the upper left, right? That would help. I would honestly flip that and mirror the whole screen. So we still have the Discord and like the social stuff over the characters or under the characters, but then have Dice and Goblins on the left, menus, options down below that. I'm collecting points on this channel to regularly bless random indie devs I want to support with some Fox Hollow wisdom. Well, I mean, that is... We'll see. We'll see if this ends up being helpful for anyone. But yeah, I've seen Dice and Goblins getting covered by a couple of pretty big streamers, actually. Like, I think Retro covered this recently. Oh, and they're also making Neo Dual backpack monsters for real? And they've made Dyson Fold? Jeez. They're pushing out a lot of projects right now. And a couple others as well. My goodness. All right, let's take a look. The signifier on hover was good. It had a little bump up, just a couple of pixels, the underline, that was all good. That's the publisher. Okay. Gotcha. There, Rogue Duck Interactive, yes. Sukumogami Software, and this is their first and only game. Gotcha. Okay. So we're getting this little cutscene here. Walking this sage elderly goblin through. I don't know what's going on with its face right now, but I can't quite, visually parse that. I guess he has an eye patch and he's happy. That's probably what it is. It'd be fun to make a dice idle game. Totally. Yeah. Dice builders are huge. Dice builders are an underrepresented mechanic right now, in my opinion. Missing sound effects, but, like, it's really early. I think that was his eye? Yeah, I think so. So, I have no clue what's happening. We had this old man walking through a dungeon. We had, like, a haunted house type sort of thing. We had this big tarantula cage monster thing walking through a hallway. I have no clue what's going on. Let me move my camera a little bit. Oh, you know what? So they don't have preset resolution options, so I'm having to kind of like manually lock this in. And I think that's pretty darn close. So right out of the gate, the entry point here, not very enticing. We just have walls on all sides. Like, we need some grander or more incentivizing thing. We do have this glowing words here, which I'm assuming we're supposed to go interact with, right? Maybe not knowing what's going on is the game you made along the way. Good to see you, Tuber. Hope you're doing well. So obviously we're supposed to go interact with that. In that sense, it is communicating effectively with the player, so that's a good thing. We have keyboard shortcuts down below, inventory, map, menu, wait, look. It would be nice to have some more spacing between each of these. Because right now we have and we talk about this all the time, because it's a mistake that's so easy to make. People make it all the time, where there's equal spacing between here and here, but before and after the item, right? So inventory, at first glance, looks like it could belong to I or M. Now, obviously, you figure it out fairly quick, because you're like, oh, I for inventory, right? But every time you come and look down here, you kind of have to, like, work at it a little bit. Whereas if we just added some more spacing, the I wouldn't have to work so hard. It's an awesome hat. Thank you. Tootie Fighters, good to see ya. How's it going? It's going very well. Thank you for asking. Yes. We're very excited to be checking out Dice and Goblins here, redeemed by Cubus. So we have the map. We do have the mini map up here. It could use some chroming on the edges so it doesn't just feel like a plain rectangle just smacked on the screen, right? Having some sort of a border would make it feel a lot more integrated, especially if that border could encapsulate the X, Y, and Z values here. I do like that we have an X, Y, and Z. I might also make them a lot more subtle, because it's, unless that's a core mechanic of the game, you probably don't need to know 99% of the time which X, Y, and Z coordinate you're at. But I do like that it's there. Spacing would be a great touch, or like a very faint underlay. An underlay could also work. At that point, it starts to feel more like a toolbar, right? And if we went that route, we could even change these from keyboard shortcuts to actual full-on buttons, right? We could actually just swap it inventory out for a bag icon, and we have a toolbar that we can maneuver, right? So, like, look would need to get changed. Okay, so we can move around. This is feeling very 80s, early 90s dungeon crawler. Okay, we do return. We anchor back to the center space. That's good. I thought they were clickable buttons. Interesting. Because they kind of look like buttons, right? That is the signifier. They have these rounded corners that kind of make you think it's a button, right? So it's not, so it doesn't afford being a button because you can't click on it. And that's the difference, right? Does it look like it versus does it actually do it? So it signifies a button, but it doesn't necessarily does not afford a button. So if we go to our inventory, okay, we got this cup here with a glyph. Interesting. Good stick with something dangerous at the tip. Be careful. Gives 1 attack D4. Moving gives 1 attack D4 underneath everything. And maybe even with like a horizontal line in between the two could really support the legibility of this text here. Because right now I have to read through the whole thing to get to the actual useful mechanical information. And just giving it its own space would once again also make it way more legible. Are you a UI genius? I'm convinced already. I'm not a UI genius, but I have spent a decade as a product designer and a UX UI designer. So I've been around the block a few times. I've put in my reps, but there are people that are much better at like raw UI, especially UI artistry, than I am. Prodigal, so good to see you. Welcome in. Why didn't you get an alert? I don't know. It sounded off in Discord. I don't know. But here we go. We have dice. Oh, this may be of interest to you, Prodigal, because it's a dice builder, from what I understand. This is called Dice and Goblins. I really like when games make the description tab and stats tab a bit different, so it's easier to focus on what you actually want to know. Yeah, and that's another good point. Like, moving this down is a really quick visual win, but there's definitely possibly a better layout here, where we could take this back a step, forget about all the styling, and just say which sections of the screen are devoted to which pieces of information. Having a dedicated stats screen, I mean, that's something to consider, right? So let's throw this link in chat one more time for Prodigal here. There we go. That's Dice and Goblins. We're playing the demo right now. So we have abilities, control. Oh, so we have this weird. Okay, we have a disconnect here. Abilities, control, dice control. This is changing this stuff, but it's located off to the side. So there's a disconnect, right? We think when we do something, it's going to correspond to its relational space. Now, it could be something in this cup is going to change over time, that as we go through the game, we will learn, we will grow, and like this will start to make sense. However, if it doesn't, I would strongly recommend moving this from this control thing here to just having different tabs up top here. So we have abilities and then dice, and you can swap between those tabs and it changes. And then you need to refigure the layout a little bit because you have your little goblin up here. You'd need it to be subordinate to those tabs. So you'd need to refactor the UI a little bit, but it would be a lot more clear. Okay. Enough about all this. We got more tooltips down here. Let's dive in. I'm assuming this is another UX thing. I have keyboard shortcuts for all this stuff, but I don't have keyboard shortcuts for actually like how to interact with the game. I'm going to assume I just use WASD. Yeah, and then enter to read. Okay. You can turn with A and D, but see, we didn't even get a window popped up for moving at all. So we had to assume W. Let's try arrow keys next to see if arrow keys work. But they're saying that we are assuming a certain amount of familiarity with video game systems. So like if my wife came in, she would probably be stuck on that first screen. She would probably not really understand what to do, which may not be a problem based on target audiences and all that sort of stuff, but it's just something to observe, right? You can strafe with E and Q. You can rebind this in options, okay? We have the border here. See, take this border style, put it on the map. Done. Easy game. We got some little filigree here. It doesn't feel quite right to me. Like it's not quite fancy enough, and something about the curves is a little bit off for me. Almost like they're free-handed curves instead of like applying to some of our like French or Fibonacci curves or something that would be a little more visually aesthetic. My keyboard doesn't even have a W key. Blades, good to see ya. I have a QERTY keyboard. Amazing. Zaft, good to see you, friend. Welcome in. This fading in completely out, it's a lot of high contrast for really not a lot of gain. We can, if that would go down to maybe 50% or 25% even, I think that would feel a lot better. And then as well, you can see our text is bumping up right against this filigree. I think we need to give it a little bit of extra padding in there, or fade it out more so it's not as visible, right? Just the text is getting a little claustrophobic up against the edges there. Okay. Who made this game? No, so this was redeemed by Cubis as an Analyze Any game. Oop. Okay. Can I click on these things? Enter? No. Okay. Interesting. So, like, this is a treasure chest, right? Like, this is a literal treasure chest. And books. These are things we're trained to be able to interact with. So, finding some way to de-emphasize these visually, whether it's getting more dim, or making them, like, be opened already or something, or, like, broken, those are ways to signify to the player, hey, don't actually pay attention to this, it's just set dressing. That's a cool redeem. Yeah, I mean, I've seen Cubis redeem this, and I have seen people bring this up a couple of times on other streams. Fedora, you got it. Some relatively big names have been streaming this, so I'm curious to see how it works out. There it is. There we go. All right. There we go. Hat. Fedora. There we are. Thank you, Tuber Tuger. How much do you think this game will cost on release? I don't know. We haven't really even seen any of the mechanics or anything yet. So it's 3D, and that, to me, kind of automatically pushes it into more of the $10 to $15 amount just by virtue of being 3D. But we'll see. How does the open map look like? This. So, once again, lots of color contrast issues. The numbers here being on top of them. Like, there's just a lot of UI refinement that can be done here because it's kind of overlapping on top of itself. It doesn't feel very good. We have this plain, sort of semi-transparent rectangle we're not seeing anywhere else. You know, there's just, like, stuff like this could get brought in to things. Now, we do have a notes section. I'm curious if I write the note or if the game will write the note. Oh, place note. Enter. Ah. Aha! Okay. Interesting. Can I... Yeah, I can just click on things. Test 2. I would like it... Once again, this kind of is signifying a button. We have this double border, which is weird. It's just not a style we see anywhere else in the game. There's just some... Making it more consistent, getting some visual aesthetics lined in on the UI. Like, these arrow buttons are totally different from everything. But, this looks like a button. And I expect to be able to click on the button to have it appear, like, brighten up the square where this note is, right? We can delete these notes. Let's take a look. That's a nice long corridor. It sure is. It looks pretty cool. Yeah. Love the low poly stylized 3D with the first person camera. Yeah, I mean, it's very, you know, Might and Magic, Betrayal of Krondor, Wizardry, all these old school dungeon crawlers. Shoot, what's the, like, there was a game and then there was a sequel that were kind of revitalizing this genre that came out, and they're super big, like Dungeons of oh man, I can't remember. Lock, no, Dungeons. I actually don't even know if I own it. Oh dear. Anyways, Grimrock. Thank you, Tuber. Yes, Grimrock. I've opened up his coordinates on the map with full-on grids. Could be. Check what your Z location is. Got to keep that in mind at all times. Very important. I don't know if that's a joke or not, but, like, I genuinely feel, once again, that these coordinates are going to be helpful, but, like, do not need to be this visually emphasized. Strange that 0.0 is not next to each other. Yeah, it was Tuber Tuger. Tuber Tuger got it. It's, Grimrock, which I don't believe is the full title. Legend of Grimrock. Legend of Grimrock. Yeah. Behind this door is a monster. Beware. Okay. Great. Now, in this old style of games, and you'll see me like bump into stuff a bunch, it's because in the old style of games, it would be good to have some sort of visual signifier that this is locked, like have a padlock on there visually so I can know it's locked, or at the very least a UI prompt saying, hey, this is locked. This version of Silent Hill looks very colorful. Like, oh, Dungeons and Dragons. Got it. Legends of the Dragoon Grimrock. The donut is a lock. Oh, the handle. So yeah, in old style games, WASD was movement, and then Q and E could rotate. So you had movement on a specific, I mean, it wasn't even really WASD, it was like arrow keys or a graphical thing that you would click. But they had movement clumped together, and then they had rotation clumped together. And that makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons, because now WASD is purely movement, and then like all those controls are chunked together. And then you can use other things to rotate. And it's a different categories that fits in the brain well. Now, I don't know if that's just me saying it though. I don't know if someone else who did not grow up on those sorts of games would come in and have the same interaction problems that I'm having. I would totally believe it if most people didn't have that mental model. Okay, what's in here? Oh, hey! Like the paper style character? Yeah, the billboard sprites, kind of Paper Mario, very cute. That old style called tank controls. I don't necessarily know. I'm not gonna lie, I do not totally understand what tank controls means. I have a rough idea, but like if you asked me to define it, I wouldn't be able to. I just know that coincidentally Silent Hill had those tank controls and everything. That's a frequently said thing. Has to be 360 movement to be tank controls. Okay. I don't like it here. I want to go back to our village. Okay. I'm standing on candles. Can I interact with the candles? No. All right. What do you got, Jareth? It's good to see you, Gobby. Hi! I managed to lose the builder. Who's that? But who knows when they will be here? Yes, escaping the village from their attack was not easy. Escaping the village from their attack. This is probably not a native English developer, would be my guess. Because that sentence does not make a lot of sense to me. There was no such thing as sidestep in the 90s. People could only walk forwards, backwards, or turn on the spot until season 2 of Nightmare. Just explain it as Resident Evil controls. There you go. I'm no expert, though, just a tuber. Every time we move, it takes all our strength just to lose it to the builders. Aren't we safe here? Unfortunately not. This is mice territory. It's overpopulated as it is. They, too, will lose this place soon enough. We need to find a safe place for the rest of the village. I hope we're not the last. What? Okay, so I will say, I talk about this a lot in a lot of games, is let the players know what it is they're trying to accomplish early on. I just watched a video by Indie Buffet, which it was this really interesting, like, you were a 3D monster and creature, and you would go and eat other creatures, and you could absorb their body parts and, like, evolve. So it was like a more gamified Spore, in a way. I watched an hour of that thing and had no clue what they were trying to accomplish. Happens all the time. At the very least, even though the translation might be a little bit rough and the writing might be a little bit rough, at the very least, I know what I'm trying to do really quick here. That's good. We could even bring that further in. All right, take care, Prodigal. Thanks. Would read better as escaping the village during their attack. Yeah, or like distracting the attack from the village. I'm not totally sure what it was wanting to communicate there, but yeah, I agree it would. I heard Dead City didn't get any builder attacks in years. Maybe we should move there. Then I will scout ahead and find it. Before you go, can you clean up the tunnel on the side? There's a pesky mad monster in there. Makes the young ones nervous. There's also a chest with some equipment. You can take it. Consider it dealt with. Okay. Where's the equipment? You can rebind controls in the pause menu. You already told me that. The mice from this area say that there's a dangerous human around. Okay. If If you find a locked door, try to find a mechanism to open it. Sure. Okay, all right. Wait, hold on. What's in here? Nothing. Great. All right, let's go do the battle. Hi. Great. Need to get some work done before my one-on-one. Okay, best of luck, Prodigal. Come to realization it was one of those epiphany moments, so gotta be ready for it. Absolutely. Best of luck, Prodigal. Best of luck. You can put the main character's name on one side of the dialogue. Yes. Yeah, Yes, I agree with you wholeheartedly that if you're not paying attention to who's bobbing up and down while they're talking, and then you come back and look at it, it's a little hard to know who is who, right? So you can do that through swapping the nameplate over. You can do that through making the character that's not talking more transparent, through making the character that is talking bigger. There's a lot of visual ways to communicate that. Can I use AI to have you voice over this entire game? I can do literally nothing to stop you. Welcome to Dice and Goblin Combat. To defeat your enemy, you need to reduce their health points to 0. Your character is on the left, and their health points are represented by the red bar. I wouldn't say that's really red. Every turn you roll dice. Red dice are attack dice. They give you attack points, and the total is below your HP. Okay. Each die is represented on the board, and the dice bar at the center of the screen. So these are obviously quickly drawn, like vector graphics of the circles. It would be nice to have them be more graphical, have it be like a chalk swoop or something, right? But plenty of time to address that. Okay, your enemy has an HP bar of their own, and they have attack points as well. Here they will attack you for 2 this turn. You can reroll your dice up to 2 times if you don't like the result. Be careful, it costs you 1 energy star. We are going into ads before we jump into the fight. We'll do ads. Bezos demands his due. We'll check in with the bridge keeper here, but what was the last dice-based game you played? I think for me, I mean, digitally speaking, gosh, probably like Caves of Koot. I think that has a pretty robust dice system, even though it's a little under the hood. If I was asking you to rate my competency, I don't think I can do it. Shoot. All right. So there you go. Yeah, Caves of Koot is being interesting, and I'm needing to do some big deep dives into Door Fortress and stuff, so you can look forward to those being on the screen in the future. So, all right. We'll be right back right after Bezos is satiated. Okay, welcome back. Dungeons of Aether. Yeah, I saw that one recently. I'm very curious on that one. Oh, I think it just crashed. Shoot. Strange. Very, very strange. Okay. At least, hey, we didn't get very far yet. Let's launch this back up. Oh, and it's not gonna remember my window size either. Hold on, let me get this reset here. Oh, come on. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'm curious about Dungeons of Aether. Oh, we didn't even get any save points. All right. Can we skip the intro cutscene? Okay. Just run forward. One thing that I'm going to be keeping my eye on is, like, what does this old school dungeon crawling aesthetic give them beyond just, like, kind of an interesting conversational point? I'm really curious about how that will bear fruit, right? Okay, so we're in like a 2D fight that's all dice based, right? So I don't know that 3D dungeon crawling sort of experience is super necessary, but I am curious. So let's go ahead and roll. Roll 1 out of 3. Okay, so we have this squish-squashed arrow here. It feels like the game's art is just kind of riddled with mixels, right? Like, the paper art is super well defined. This is very crisp and clean. The dice is very crisp. And then we have this weirdly pixelated arrow, right? Like, why? Aether's a little strange. Like, they let me do 1 dungeon or 2, let me level up my character, only to then force me to swap 1 of 3 other characters for some reason. What did I level it for then? Oh, interesting. Oh, I'm sure you'll probably return to it, right? Or something. I don't know. All right. Oops. Okay. So we got 3 damage. Can I roll again? And, like, accumulate damage? All rolls used. Okay. So it looks like I only did 3 instead of doing, like, 6. So we have 4 damage, so I might as well just hit next, right? And just do 4 damage. Okay. Great. Cute particle effects, spawning in and out with the color ramp and everything. The victory screen, I mean, we've got this little border. It could be a lot more bombastic than this. Have it skewed somehow, right? We have blocks representing an XP bar, which I guess kind of makes sense. This whole space here is a little bit strange to me. And then we have like this blue color, which hasn't really been represented up until now in the UI that I can remember, and the yellow. There's just, once again, a lot of work in the UI to bring in consistent styles. And that's the big thing, is it just feels like we have a bunch of different styles that have not been wrestled into a cohesive system. Return to it after I did more dungeons with all of the other 3 other... Yeah, so they wanted to, like, lead you through the characters, and then you could go forward, right? Kind of like in a sort of tutorial type sort of approach. Okay. Open. You found dagger. Instead of like a dagger, it's dagger. A small and swift blade, just the extra inch of steel that you need. Gives 1 attack D4. So we can equip it. Now we have 2 dice. I don't know what this cup thing is doing for us. It's cool. I like it. I hope it ends up doing something. You can open your inventory. Yes, I am aware. Thank you. All right. Cool. Good to see you again. Hello, Jareth. Are the younglings all right? Yeah, although some wandered further into the dungeon. If you meet them, can you tell them to come over? Sure thing. Back in the day, I would have asked. He disappeared when I was little. What happened to him? That fool was obsessed with escaping the dungeon just like you. He believed in a story told by some human mage, a human that didn't kill us on sight. According to the mage, there was a way to go on the moon. The moon? Inhabited by rabbits, demons, and gods. That's a good one. I heard Pixie's tales more believable than this one. Yeah, but we never saw Phineas again. Last we heard of him, he was checking out the ancient artilleries next to Dead City. Well, that's where I go. It can't hurt to take a look. Cool. All right, let's go. Was that a door donut that didn't lock the door? Yeah, I think he has an eye patch. Yeah. Okay, so the animation to, like, move down is, like, kind of cool, but also you don't get to see the stairs while you're going down, so that's kind of disconcerting. Like, when you go downstairs, you are looking at the stairs, right? Unless they're stairs you have walked on 30 billion times. Okay, yeah. I know we can open the map. Once again, let me know that, oh, so it's kind of Dark Souls-y. Resting will restore your HP and energy, but monsters come back to life. Interesting. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Yeah, okay, that's saying the same thing that the campfire just told us. So the benefits of a system like this, right, is that it restricts visibility. So are we going to have monsters sneaking up? That's why, like, in old school, you'd want to, like, strafe so you could see exactly what's going on without stepping and then rotating, right? Phineas and Ferb built a city on the moon. Not a fan of the step shaking in the animation. I think that's fair. Oh, I guess we're in a fight now. Great. We have 4 damage. Let's roll you. Accept. There we go. 7 damage. Dead? Okay, great. Found wooden shield. Lucky. So I'm getting to the point in the game where I'm basically exclusively using the keyboard, and I'm not really using the mouse for anything anymore. Z at 2 now. Yes. Furniture with a handle gives 1 defense die. Okay. So it looks like we do not have these other slots unlocked, and that we will supposedly unlock them later. It definitely seems like attack is the way to go, at least for now. Okay, and so they don't move until I move. Okay. You're crushing it. Thank you. 6 damage. Dead. GG. All right. Oh, Gobby, I ran, but bad monsters were everywhere, and I hid here. I'll go back with the others. Did that do anything for me? Like, is that a part of a quest that I don't know that I have? Control, yeah, sure. Okay. Nothing in this room. But we should explore it so it's on the map. It's kind of weird that Z is the height and not Y, but I guess it's because of the 2D map. I guess I can understand how someone would get tripped up by that. It makes a perfect amount of sense to me, but I can see it. Think you'll get another slot when you level? That's the guess, yeah. The meat of Dice and Goblins combat is combos. They're composed of 2 parts, the requirement on top and the bonus below. If you fill the requirement, you gain the bonus. You need a 2 and a 3. Once you meet the condition, the combo is marked as activated. Here you need 2 red dice, one with 3 points and the other with 2 points. If you struggle, try to change your equipment to get combos more often. Okay, cool. Great. Enemies have their own combos based on your dice. Ah, okay. To win, you must trigger your combos and avoid enemy ones. Nice. I like that. So that changes it from just something to do to now vital, right? I mean, I guess it could be vital because maybe like the effects or stuff, it's just balanced in such a way. But having it be on the enemies as well, I think is very clever. Hey, Hidao, good to see you. Nice dice. How's it going? It's going very well. How are you doing, Queen Anne? How's Primordial Pantheon coming? You said you were pitching that around a while ago, right? Is that borne any fruit? Sounds good, Tuber. Z-Up is way more common for games than known to gamers. I agree. My initial expectation is Z is like elevation. But I can totally see why someone may not consider that, right? And I'd like this to not reveal it tile by tile and instead reveal it room by room. Like hallways, I can understand why not, but like in that context, it just felt silly to have me run around every tile to make sure that I have all the map revealed. I don't know, I guess some of those rooms are a little more complex, right? They can be What am I trying to say? Like a room with a hallway coming out of it that is not attached by a door, so you can't really have those defined points, but maybe even just having a bigger radius to what you can see. I don't know. Be nice. Copper dagger. Small and swift blade. Just the extra inch of copper that you need. So we can replace stick. Accept. Yes. Unequip. Exit. How do I... Okay. Unequip. Now equip. So it gives us a combo. So a 2 and a 3 will equal 4 defense. Cool. Well, I guess we're going into a fight. That's still true. It seems like there's a lot of pitching happening in general, so a lot of the responses have been delayed. I believe that. I believe that. Hold on, let me move my camera out of the way of their combos. I know that there's not a ton of funding in the space right now, and people are really gunning for it, right? So that makes sense. We updated the game to have a shop and a basic economy, but it still is in need of balancing. Very cool. Played a lot of Minecraft, so I guess I got used to it being different. Fair. And that's another thing to point out, right? Like if Minecraft has a different convention, Jacob's Law, right? If your target audience is someone who grew up on Minecraft or is actively playing Minecraft, you need to be aware of that. All right. We got our combo right out of the gate. So he is going to do an extra 2 damage. Wait, health -2. Does that mean his health -2? Like he's going to take damage? Or he's going to do an extra 2 damage to me? I don't totally know. This is plenty to kill. Alright. That's this room. Let me just go explore it. And I'm definitely getting the impression that this is a campaign instead of a roguelike. Which I'm totally down for. As much as I adore roguelikes, I don't think everything needs to be a roguelike. And there's still space for long-term progression and narrative development. Okay. Where am I trying to go? Let's go over here. Oh, yeah. These doors are locked. That's right. Okay. Okay. So, where am I at right now with this game? I think it needs a lot of UX and UI support. Is this overworld exploration stuff boosting the game? I don't know. I'm not seeing anything that's making it really... Like, oh, wow, this 3D world really amplifies the experience. It feels like it's kind of an interruption until I get to the next fight, you know? Yeah, blue is defense, sure. Too many defense dice won't be able to kill the enemy. Sure, all right. That's 7 damage. Let's reroll the 4 and try and get a 2. No. Oh! So we don't get 3 rerolls per turn. We have a maximum of 3 rolls, and we spend our stars in order to get them. But that will... Okay, so we're going to have to, like, rest pretty soon. Interesting. All right, well, that kills him. How's a Godotverlay doing? It's going well. We are doing this redeem for a little while until we get to the end. So it might be tomorrow. But we got a dice slot. We got a skill point. So we can add the wooden shield here. Now we have defense. Now we also got abilities, right? Like we got a skill point. I don't know what to do with the skill point. Skills? Ooh, look at this. Fire, metal, and leaf. Okay. Exchange an attack dice against a defense dice. The value will be increased by 1. I don't totally know what that means. I'm assuming it means change a defense die into an attack die and increase it by 1. And then turn defense into heal. Or vice versa, maybe? Exchange a heal die against an attack die. The value will be increased by 1. I mean, healing sounds like a good idea. Sustain is usually a good idea in long experiences like this. Yeah, okay. You can get skill points, sure. Oh, the skeleton dude is gone. Found the main gauche. What's the main gauche? 1 attack D4, but it gives us an extra combo. So let's go ahead and load that in. Okay. I pulled the lever. It would be nice to have some indication of what's happening. I know that's a little bit against old school dungeon diving aesthetics, but I don't think that's a good aesthetic, personally. All right. Ooh! We got a 4, a 4, and a 3. I mean, gosh, I think we just ride on that. So we're going to take 2 damage, but doing just fine. 8 damage. Get wrecked. All right. There could be more fanfare when good things happen, like when you level up, really having the health show up and then slide over, right? To show, look, you've gained health and all that sort of stuff. Like some ways to just make it feel a little bit better. I can see the sky here. It's beautiful. The dungeon is still expanding as far as my eyes can see. I wonder if flying monsters can escape the dungeon. Do they find something? Or is the dungeon our whole world? I wish I could fly too. A small heel. Is that a piece of equipment? Is it permanent? Okay, interesting. I'm still not totally sure if it's permanent. Oh, another monster. Get him! Really awkward that we walk into the monster, right? Having even just a button to like press enter to attack would help that a lot. Okay, we got triple ones. We're gonna re-roll everything. 4, 2, and 2. All right. Well, better than it could be. We end up not hurting each other. Cricket, good to see ya. How are you today, friend? Ooh, we got our shield combo. So we're gonna shield a bunch, and we're gonna do 4 damage. So we're at least gonna deal damage to him. That's good. It would be nice for doors to stay open. I agree, Nektos. Yeah, and that goes into wayfinding, right? If we go to our textbook, which we all have open, here we go. Here we go. Wayfinding, right? Process of using spatial and environmental information to navigate a destination. So having a lot of games do this in a lot of different ways. You can see the example here is a map with landmarks on it, right? Tells you where you are. A lot of games will do this. Oh, shoot. Did it just crash? All right. They got to work on stability on this thing. That's for sure. Some games will do that with the doors, right? A door will remain open, and that tells you have been here before. Or it will be like a torch that lights up when you walk by. Man, no auto saves? Come on. Alt tabbing is illegal. Oh my gosh. Australia, no, everyone, oh no. What? All right, we can blast through this. Now that we know what everything is. Oh, that crashing is just brutal. And I think that's a perfect example of what we have here, that the UX is just off on this. We need a lot more usability concerns addressed here. And honestly, I'm not loving this cutout. I kind of get that it's meant to make it look like a pop-up book or a stage play, but I think I want the tile to continue. Like, cut the wall away, sure, but I don't know that this tile with, like, cutoffs over here is really doing much other than adding visual noise. Like, either drop this base layer or completely flesh it out, but get rid of the walls that are impeding vision. That's my 2 cents. Cricket, how's wait, no, hold on. I'm not gonna guess it. I wrote it down, right? Oh man, please tell me I wrote it down. I swear I wrote it down. Cricket. Where's Cricket? Yes, Norse punk. I was gonna get it wrong. For some reason, I keep on, it keeps on confusing me with Frost. I keep on wanting to throw, like, Nordic Frost, Nordic punk, How's Nordic punk going? Don't worry about the name, it's temporary, alright. Oh, shoot, I hope it's going well, though. Okay, here we go. And in... let's equip our dagger. So, mechanically speaking, I think the dice works. I think I don't know that I would necessarily call it a combo system, personally. A combo, to me, implies taking a series of actions together. This is more like a Yahtzee, set collection type sort of thing, right? It's a suit that you're trying to get rather than a combo. But like it does a good job. It's nice. Man, if combat can be over that quickly as well, let's shorten that loading animation. All right. Punk Frost, yeah. Coming along, good so far, getting a prototype ready to put in a few folks' hands. Nice! Doing a ton of bug fixes and UI UX. Very nice. Lots of mouse support since I went controller first design. Oh, interesting. Very cool. Cricket, sounds like you're making a ton of progress. That's awesome. Was the wheel thingy at the top during a battle? I don't know. Yeah, this guy? I don't know. Cancel. Can I, like, click it, slide it, move it? Use WAS to maneuver to it? No, I have no idea. Not a clue. We got a 2 and a 3. Let's go ahead and... No, actually, let's just... Okay, here you can see an example of good, like, UX stuff that needs to be addressed. I can hit accept, even though I don't have anything selected. And then when I do that, it says no die is selected in this red text that's very hard to read. Good to see you, Tom, by the way. If I'm in a failure state, don't enable the button, right? So I don't get this opportunity to hit control, gray it out, do whatever you gotta do so it's clear to the player that they cannot actually engage in this yet. Also, this dialogue box, oof, we need like some backing to it to pull it out from the background and give it some good contrast. Let's just attack here. Another thing here, we have the heart on that combo. I think that's part of why this was confusing. The heart on the combo saying -2 or +3 is confusing because we don't know what heart is, because heart is not represented elsewhere in the UI. So we're left to infer based on our guesses as to how this functions based on how we've had the game go. I'm gonna save the game. Goodness gracious, not going through all that again. I think the thing at the top calls out what phase of combat you're in. Oh. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right, Queen Anne. I would not have guessed that. Okay, we found you. And also, these dungeon crawling games, they need autosaves. You have to have autosaves because you never know, like, you're gonna walk around the corner and be met with an ogre that rips your face off, right? And especially given the aesthetics of the game, it is very cutesy. It is leaning in, even just accidentally, into a more casual sort of aesthetic, and they need to account for that. So those more casual players are going to, whether they're kids or they're more casual players, they're not going to be thinking about, oh, I've taken 3 steps forward, I should make sure that I'm saving, right? Not to mention Jacob's Law, you just kind of expect the saves at this point. Like, it was very strange to me that there were no saves. Right, let's get that copper dagger put on. I was about to guess that. Save every door. Yeah. Yeah, every door or every fight. Or both, right? Incredible! So good to see you, friend. How are you today? Let's just go. I think it was worth fishing for the 3 to get a shield to block that. Let's try and get higher on there. Shoot. There we go. Now we can actually kill him. Good. Having a bit of animation as well to say, look, this amount of damage went to shields and this amount of damage went to health is good, because it's a little bit awkward that when we get into a fight here, I'll show you. It shows shielding up here, but this is like what they are going to be doing to you on their turn. But if you have a shield, then it's like immediately active. So there's a little bit of chronal dissonance there. Making a Slay the Spire like map took longer than expected, but I have something working now. Nice. This is your Western game that you're doing. No, is this? This isn't for Ludum Dare, right? This is something else. So yeah, this heart. We need a heart icon up here, and like having some sort of flash would be nice too. Of High Play Jam 2. Nice, nice. Oh, High Play. You were telling me about that. That's the one that's like has a huge prize pool, and they're trying to like advertise their platform, right? Very cool. Very cool. Incredible. So I'm dealing 5 minus 2, 7 damage to him. It would be great to have an indicator here and have this like be a white flashing section to say this is how much damage you're going to be applying to him, right? That would be so helpful. All right. And then we can probably just, yeah, correct. All right. Let's go ahead and save. There we go. Mr. Skellington. We got a 1. We don't want that. Let's roll and hope we don't get a 4. Because if we get 2 4s up above, you can see he gets an extra 6 attack. Which is outrageous. All right, well, let's go. Four and a 2. Or whatever. We'll just bash him open. We also need to equip our shield, which we haven't yet. Bum, 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 bum. I do like that little, I don't know, would you call it a leitmotif? Little theme? Feels very Final Fantasy, right? Okay, so we definitely need to re-roll the 1. There we go. Let's do that. Oh no, are we in ads? Shoot, I totally missed it. All right, ads. We'll be back. Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Not even a warning. Oh no, it crashed again. Give me a break. Holy cow, the crashing here is outrageous. All right, let's load. At least we were saving a whole bunch. So, lesson learned. Do not alt-tab this game unless you just barely saved. Oh, come on, Windows. All right. I really like the cartoon aesthetic. I feel like it could have been also used for walls and floors. A shader which gives that paper feel to environment as well would have been nice. I mean, I can see that. I don't think it would be a bad idea. I mean, they're trying to go for a specific aesthetic here, right? And I can appreciate that. That you have the characters feeling like they are in a world that is not made for them, right? And I especially with this whole narrative of wanting to escape the dungeon. I can understand it, right? Do I think that they've really accomplished what, if that was the intention, have they accomplished it? I don't think so. I would agree with a lot of people here. I think it just doesn't feel as intentional as it could be. And that's a bit of a problem. Let's see here. Where's our menu? Is there anywhere else really to explore? I don't think so. Guess there's, oh yeah, this whole dialogue here. The small healing potion, yeah. Okay. Then I think we've kind of seen everything there is really to see here. So let's go over here. Can I just fall off? There we go. Dark pits are deadly. Avoid them. Okay, that does not look like a dark pit. That doesn't look like a dark pit at all. Load. Goodness gracious. So we've got a little bit of positioning here, right? I'm curious if we're going to get like movement abilities or the ability to interact with things from far away. Like if I could stand here and shoot a bow and arrow at the switch, all of a sudden the 3D dungeoneering aspect comes alive, right? Oh, always for science. There could have been spikes in the holes. I mean, it could be. Mostly, I think for me, it's just that it looks like it's just a dark blue tile, right? This harsh cutoff here just makes it look like they didn't put this tile down. Like, that doesn't look like a bottomless pit to me. Dark, but not a pit, yeah. Lava is another way they could signify it. You know, I'm sure they've got other things that they're needing to build and everything, but yeah. I mean, there's a lot of ways to convey this. Fragile dagger, deadly, but can break. Gives 1 attack d4. But if you roll a 4, you deal a lot of damage to yourself. But if you get 2 1s, you get 6 extra damage. So that takes you up to an 8. So all of a sudden you start wanting 1s. Or at least 1s are as good as 4s, but then the 4 actually hurts you. So that's kind of interesting. So I can see how the combo system does make you consider things more carefully. And I think that's interesting, right? Once again, I don't buy that it's a combo, but that's just semantics. I'll keep you on mute, but I gotta get work done or else what? Exactly. Billboard the sprites, and like, billboard the enemies too, right? Like if the enemies are, I don't know, I guess by having the enemies 3D here, they feel like they are a part of the world. They feel like they belong in the dungeon, and the goblins do not. But the problem is, when we move into combat, the enemies are billboarded. So, you know, it's kind of communicating different things. You have more control over the dice you throw after the reroll phase. Skills become available. You can select one or skip directly to the attack. The cost is described below the name. Usually they cost energy and 1 or more dice. For example, here it costs 1 energy and a red dice. After selecting the skill, select the dice to play. You can click on the dice bar, or just use the arrow keys on your gamepad. Selected dice rims are glowing. Sure. There's also a weird discrepancy in tutorials. Like, some of the tutorials are very in-depth and specific, and many others are, like, way hands-off. Okay. You don't need to tell me there's a lot of skills. Try experimenting. Like, I'm natively going to do that as a part of just playing the game. I'm also not totally sure how I get energy in this game. Alright, let's just swing. Just get him. Just get him. Ba-bum-bum. Okay. So now we can... Oh, locked. Boo! Let's go back to that campfire, rest, and then we'll save. There we go. The stars are like what power your abilities. So every reroll costs a star. Every skill use is a star, right? They're what allow you to do more things on your turn. And it seems like you get 1 per turn and 5 total. But you only get 1 per turn if you're at 1. I don't know. It's a little confusing to me. I don't totally understand it. All right, take care, Nekdos. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate you. All right, that's still locked. It was nice watching the stream. It was nice having you here. Thanks for hanging out, Nekdos. Oh, that's right. We need to go... It's annoying that I have to move directly through a door, like facing it, instead of being able to like sidestep or backstep through it. That limits movement pretty heavily. Let's re-roll the 1. There we go. And that should kill him. So we do 8 damage, and then he gets -2 with our combo. There we go. Nice. That's satisfying. I like that. I like that the combos for the enemies can be both positive and negative. All right, let's go up now. Up these stairs. And save. I'm also only ever seeing one version of the enemies. Even though, like, this is a skeleton and the other one was, like, a smoke monster. So, I don't know if that's just a matter of assets not being in the game, or they're wanting to obfuscate it. I don't know. And if you want to obfuscate it, then once again, I just kind of don't totally get the purpose of the 3D movement. I mean, we're going to block everything he's throwing at us, and we're dealing damage. So let's just do it. Ooh, let's reroll that. 1. No. Back. No! Can we change the 1 into a heal? Oh, okay. So that's turning a heal dice into an attack dice. Got it. Okay. At least we didn't take any damage. 4 damage against 2 armor. Let's reroll that. 1. Oh, jeez. We're gonna block all his damage anyways. Whatever. Sure, it's fine. I like the little poof that happens when a dice spawns. That feels good. 7 damage. There we go. Used to think making card game is hard, but dice game looks even harder. Interesting. Why is that, Incredible? I have done both dice and card stuff. I mean, just for game jams. Falling down is the only path, sure. And the dice was actually not that hard. Granted, it was not in a 3D space, but it was just generating a number 1 through 6 and then swapping out a sprite. 1 attack D6. Cool, but no combo. Yeah, let's do it. And then let's swap out small heal for the wooden shield, so then we can actually use our skill if we need to. Darn it. I did not mean to do that. I did not mean to fall. All right. Alright, let's get this guy. DW dice are just multi-sided cards. Yeah, I think that's fair. Lack of making those games makes me think that way. Now that I'm making a card game, I don't find it hard at all. Yeah, fair. Okay, heal is the green cross icon, and I think what they mean by the green cross icon is a green heart icon. Heal just before attacking, use it to survive incoming attacks. Heal can also remove poison stacks. Okay, cool. We got 6 damage against 10 health, and he's gonna deal 3 damage and heal for 3. Let's re-roll that. There we go. 9 damage. I like that. Oh, now we heal. So why is it a green cross and then a green heart? Like, let's just make it consistent. That's all I want. Let's just make it consistent. Noticing the 6-eyed face popping up as a motif in the game a lot. Yeah, it's on the coins, right? We're just getting here. It's on the shields of the skeletons. Absolutely. I'm sure it'll be important going forward, or at least I would hope it is important going forward, because you're right, it is very much a motif at this point, right? Oh, wait, what's that up there? Oh, that's the spider bot thing. Is that the builder that they were talking about? That looks like death if I try and jump down there. Also, I see doors that are flooded, so it does seem like there's going to be some amount of map manipulation in here. What does this take me down to? Oh, man. I'm looking for that monster. Okay, well, this is a new space, at least. Okay, so we can rest there. You can fall safely into water. Oh. Whole space again. Great. I do wish you get a little bit more visibility when looking down. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little hard to make a lot of, you know, like looking down, I see very little of what I would want to actually see. I think this is the space with the monster. Good, got it. Uh, 9 damage and a heal. I'll take that. Although I could have used my skill to change that 1 heal into a 2 damage, and that would have maybe been a good idea. It's getting 4 armor, but we're healing for 4, so we're actually going to out-heal his damage here. So, yeah, let's just take it. I wouldn't mind seeing their dice roll as well. Or I mean, their intention just kind of like pops up. It doesn't feel like it has any sort of polish to intro it to the player, right? So seeing the dice do that would be nice. Seeing a little pop in for it would be nice, or a slide or something to indicate that. Also, it's off to the left of the character, which feels odd. I get that it's maybe left aligned with this, but ours isn't left aligned. I don't know. It's just kind of floating there. And for what it's worth, this is too. I wouldn't mind it being right aligned instead, because that's going to be a shorter eye line for our eyes to travel to try and like compare things with each other, right? All right, 8 damage. Now, just kill him. And we heal up that damage. Heal definitely seems really strong. I'm not going to lie. Heal seems really, 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 really good. We got another level up. So we get max energy. We gain some health. Okay. 50 gold. We don't know what to do with gold yet, but it is there. That's good. We unlocked some sort of doors, maybe. Let's go in, and we didn't get a new slot, unfortunately. That's a bummer. Let's save. Skills. We need 2 skill points. Okay, so this seems like it's going to be a much longer sort of campaign game. Let's get this. Equip it. So now we can change defense to heal and heal to attack. to nerf heal cards in my game as well. Kills the intensity. Healing is really tricky to pull off. Really tricky to pull off. In any sort of game, to be frank. In any game, healing is very, very difficult to make an engaging, fun mechanic. Is this the right way? It is. Good. Okay. So go up here. We're back here. And now we jump down into the water. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so a bit of three-dimensionality in here. Like, we are dropping down between layers and stuff. I can somehow open this door even though it's waterlogged. If you can buy them too regularly, it really does kill the tension. Yeah. Ban the heals. Healing is tricky. I mean, it's why, Slay the Spire famously has, and really popularized the maintaining your health through rooms, because it makes campfires matter. So if you have a ton of healing in your game, you're turning it into more of a puzzle than a micro puzzle. So each encounter is a puzzle, more so than like the overarching structure is a puzzle, right? So in Slay the Spire, each act is kind of like a meta puzzle that you're really trying to. The people that are really good at Slay the Spire, they play that meta puzzle game a lot more than they play the card game. Dagger coated in poison. 1 attack, D4, and we get poison on 2s. I'm okay with that. We're not really triggering the other combo very much, so. Alright. Vampire effects and dice are represented with dark blue and red with a drop of blood. They add to your attack score and allow you to steal their HP. Of course, you need to inflict damage for the steal effects to take place. Enemies using it can be very tough and draw for long battles. Don't let them bite you. Okay. Cool. So let's definitely reroll our damage. Brutal. Hey, at least we're getting poisoned, though. That seems good. Did we... Okay, they were poisoned? Are they poisoned? I don't understand how this is working. Let's do this. These animations could be snappier too. Oh, and there's so why don't we have an icon on here saying you have 4 poison on you? I need to know that as a player. 8 damage, sure. 3 heal, let's do it. And then 4 poison. Like without seeing that, oh. I don't understand how poison works. Is it just a damage type? Like, and I can't hover over it to get more info. I'm just lost as to how this game kind of operates. Maybe if I was reading the text log, it would make more sense. But at the same time, I shouldn't have to read the text log to know how basic mechanics are working, right? Sure. Poison. Go. Let's see what happens here. Buckbeard is the name of this guy. Oh, and it also has 6 eyes, but they're in weird things. Took 4 poison stacks. New stack 4. Buckbeard took 4 damage. Buckbeard lost 2 HP. Okay. So they take damage at the start of the turn? Is that right? Well, okay. I mean, we're max damage. I'm not going to turn my nose up at max damage. Oof, I will turn my nose up at that, though. That was a rough roll. For real? Man, I'm getting horrible luck on these rerolls, man. very frequently, it's the same roll or worse. All right. 4 damage. Okay, it's at least going to kill him. It's at least going to kill him. And I did see it say that poison stacks were applied there. Yeah, we've been there. What? So we just haven't been over here? Aha. So we head back up. Pull the lever. Ah, and stairs. Lovely. There's a lot of little dead ends, like here. It makes me wonder, are we going to Metroidvania this? Are we going to get opportunities to, like, figure out how to detect hidden doors or something? Oh. The mice. Still sitting in my shop. Come back later. Well, don't mind me. I'm just going to open someone's treasure chest. A bandage. This is a healing item. 1 heal D4. Okay. It's the same as the potion. You cannot pass here. A human was found delving into the dungeon. He has been slaughtering monsters indiscriminately. Please go away while we handle this. Okay. Can I do it anyways? No. Okay. Oh, we found one. I'll look at your map only because I want to see how bad your handwriting is. Thanks for finding me. Lost and Goblins. Find the 2 lost goblins. That was an achievement. We got a straight up achievement. That was the only achievement in this demo, was finding the goblins. And we did it. We did it, chat. 100 gold. Hooray! What does that do for me? I don't know what gold does. Aha. Seven damage against 3. Oh, and poison. Yeah, sure. I'll take that. So now he's poisoned. When does he take the poison damage? Traditionally, it's like at the end of the turn. Wow, max roll. Sure, I'll take that. Oh, and because of the dice that we have picked with our equipment, we are now locked out of his 4+4 combo. So that's actually kind of interesting. Well, I guess we're not locked out. We can still roll a 4 and a 4. Never mind. I'm a dumb. So poison damage is at the start of the turn. And does it only apply once? These are the sorts of questions I shouldn't have to be asking. It should be very immediately evident through the UI. Sweet, 500 gold. That sounds like a lot. This is a long demo, by the way. Let's re-roll that. You finished the demo? Jeez. I'm nearing the end too? Okay. Bothers me that some items combo with defense dice and you can only equip 1 shield. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I haven't gotten to that yet. Of course, it would be lovely if the sprite could represent the items that you have equipped. That would be nice. I understand why not, because like you could theoretically have like 6 shields equipped, right? Last dagger is blue dice, it looks like, and you can't even have 2 blue dice. Oh, interesting. All right, take care, Queen Anne. Thanks for the update. Very excited on what you're working on and wishing you the best of luck. Let us know any way we can support. All right. Yeah, let's just spam through it. Like, let me skip these animations, right? If I hit control while we're doing this, skip the animation. Go down. Forward. Oh! Well, that's kind of an unceremonious ending. I was expecting some sort of boss at the end. Be in touch if I need any help. Sounds great. Best of luck, Queen Anne. I hope you like this demo. If you have any feedback or questions, please contact us on the Steam forums, Discord, Twitter, or Mastodon. Wishlist the game to be warned when it will release. Warning! It's releasing soon! Warning! Careful! No, I mean, I like the idea. I think there's a lot to appreciate here, and obviously it's a whole lot better built than anything I've ever built. So that's all I'll say about that. But let's do a quick octalysis on this, because I think there are some interesting things to discuss here. And also it's going to be an interesting way to say, like, hey, octalysis doesn't, any design, any framework, any mental model is going to be insufficient to describe all of reality, right? And I think this is going to be a situation where we see that crop up. I'm excited for that. Okay. So we'll go green, because goblin. Epic meaning, yeah, I mean, you're trying to, like, guide your underdog civilization into somewhere that is safe, right? You're trying to get them out of the scary place. You're being hounded by some unknown entity. I would like a little more disclosure of what actually is happening in the world, but whatever. We were picking up stuff around the same time. You'd be like, 500 gold as I opened that chest. I was too afraid to alt tab to talk to you, though. Yeah, absolutely. I want to see more of the game's mechanics. Super cool ideas. Just need some polish and more content. I could see that. I think this is the sort of game that's going to have quite a lot of content. Like, we only got 2 levels in that game, and maybe you could grind out a lot more. But it seems like there's going to be, like, that skill tree and everything. There's going to be a lot of campaign there, is my guess. Empowerment? You get to... They have taken a format that has become very known in roguelikes, and they have built it into a campaign. So that's exciting for me, because that tells me, like, I'm going to really get to stick with the character and have a lot of progression on this one character. We're going to have a lot of options to swap out, and over time, we will have a big bevy of options to choose from, instead of in roguelikes where a lot of the point is dealing with what you get. So I actually think there's quite a lot of empowerment here. There's some randomness, for sure, but overall, I think there's quite a lot of empowerment. I might dock it down a little bit, just because the control scheme for the exploration is kind of annoying, and sometimes you open a door and go straight into a combat. But, I mean, overall, very good empowerment. Social influence, I mean, pretty much nothing. This is not a social game. Unpredictability. I mean, you got the dice rolls. That's all unpredictable. Exploring, you never know what's going to be behind that next door. I'm going to put it somewhere in the middle. Like, it's not wacky, crazy, unpredictable. We didn't see... Like, we only saw 2 enemy types. There wasn't a whole lot going on. Like, it's fairly moderate. Avoidance, avoiding alt-tabbing, that's for sure. But overall with avoidance... Okay, so avoidance, actually, I do think there is something to say about this, because you want to manage your health enough so you don't have to go reset all the monsters when you rest, right? It's that Dark Souls idea. You want to get good enough that you're progressing really far so you can go and explore and make it to the next campfire without having to, like, go and reset on the fire. So in that sense, I think there is some avoidance. Scarcity... I'm not getting, like, a ton of scarcity here. Ownership... Kind of, like, my version of the goblin, I could see being different from other people's version of the goblin, but we're also still playing the same goblin. I don't think we're gonna, like, be getting skins for the goblin. It didn't seem like our equipment was really customizing our appearance at all. The skill tree, I'm curious about what the plan is for that. If by the end of the game you'll have all the skills unlocked, or if you're gonna only have enough to devote to one tree. I don't know. I feel like there could be more of that for the ownership. And then accomplishment, the demo was probably, like, down here, because there was no big thing to... Like, I don't feel like I accomplished anything. Like, I rescued those 2 goblins, but that was really a side thing that no one really asked me to do. And outside of that, I just kind of explored and had some fights, but, there was no, like, wow, yeah, sort of moment, right? So that leaves us with this shape. Now, the thing I was saying about how octalysis and any sort of mental model or framework is not going to accurately model reality in every instance, I'm still, like, this model did not solicit the whole 3D map situation. And I'm still a little bit confused why it exists. I get that they're doing a campaign. I understand that. The game told us to experiment, but I made all the same choices you did. Felt pretty obvious what was good. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, some more variety, but once again, it's a campaign. So it's like we played about an hour of what could be a 50-hour adventure, and there's a whole bunch of stuff you gain over time, but we don't really get a window into it. So that's tricky. We probably are not seeing the vast majority of content, or even hints about what most of the content is going to be, which is tricky. And then, yeah, that overworld mechanic. There was some dungeoneering about it. It did exist. It was a thing. But I didn't see enough to integrate with things. Like, ideally, when you mash up different genres, they need to influence each other, right? So your exploration should influence the dice rolling, and the dice rolling should have some way to influence the exploration. You could say that exploration influenced the dice because you went exploring and found equipment. But most of the hallways and rooms just felt empty. Like there was nothing about them. It was just a space for monsters and treasure to inhabit. Slight puzzles every now and again. We got a little bit of that. Maybe they get a lot more into it. I don't know. But there was definitely no way for like your equipment to influence the exploration, for example, right? Like I couldn't equip a bow and shoot the switch, as we talked about, right? So I would love to see some directionality in that coming back to it. That being said, do I think there's a good game here? I do. Do I think there's a lot of space that they can kind of refine it and make it a more directed experience? Absolutely. And that I would hope to see that. I'm looking at their trailer right now. It looks like they have some different biomes. They have like sewers. They've got some torii gates for some reason somewhere. Oh, and I'm seeing a different character sprite. It doesn't have the helmet on. I don't know if that's just like an old version or not. And looks like some updated UI in the trailer as well. So I'm curious to see where they take this. Very curious to see where they take this. I think there's some real potential here to have a really cool campaign dungeon delving experience. We just need to get that UX and the UI sorted, and then make sure that there's enough content to keep things varied. Those are my two thoughts. I don't know if anyone else had any other impressions, but that's what I think. Man, what a great time. This has been a blast. And we ended like right exactly at 3. So we did not get to the Godotverlay today, but we're going to get to it tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be Godotverlay time. And we have some analysis games that are queued up for like next week or so. We got Code Blue, which we'll be looking at next week. And then we've got Striving for Light, which I believe we're going to be looking at soon. And then as well, I need to do a lot of research on Dwarf Fortress as soon as I can make a certain announcement. And we need to practice using Cartoon Coffee's VFX pack. By the way, if signing up for that newsletter prevented you from getting that pack, if you didn't want to give out your email, it is now a hosted file on our Discord. So if that was a struggle for you, you can come onto the Discord, download it straight from the Discord. We don't want to prevent anyone from being able to get access to that. Sorry for the sidetrack from the overlay. No, I love doing stuff like this. It's not a sidetrack at all. I mean, it was a sidetrack, but it's not an unwelcome one. Oh, man. That was a great time. That was a lot longer than I was expecting it to be, not going to lie. But it was still a lot of fun. And with that being said, I think we're going to go ahead and raid out. We're going to raid into, let's see, somewhere that we're following. Let's raid into, you know what, let's raid Tobuggus. We haven't seen Tobuggus in a long time. We're going to go hang out with them. They are playing people's Ludum Dare submissions. So that's always a grand old time to see what people have been up to in game jams. Woo! With that being said, thank you so much for hanging out here today. Don't forget to sign up for the game jam, join the Discord, like, follow, subscribe, whatever platform that you're on. Thank you for being here. I hope this has been helpful for you. It has been helpful for me to learn. With that, we'll catch you tomorrow.